Como puoi dire se? You saw the web kind of. You saw the thing where you here. Because when you saw it. Yeah, become good at him. Non, pas de ça.
Yeah, we are said that thing good. Like all recording and played before. Yeah, but they are calling here or get here. The first recording the last one play.
We are not recording.
Eh?
They know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting here plus the other one. Is it not only it? But you get it, Good evening, Liberia. Good evening, Liberians. Good evening to each and every one of you joining us. Good evening to the good people of Liberia. It's good to be back here on the radio to bring you the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. I want to say thank you to Allah. Today is the 4th of July 2023. Few months to go to October, when Liberians will converge to elect representatives, senators, and president. It is the decision you're going to make come October will speak for you for the next 6 years. But all I can say to you, no matter what we do, no matter our differences, no matter how we see things in Liberia, let's bear in mind this country and the peace we all need to jealously protect. So good evening, my good loving people. My name is Sekou. I'm Sekou Sharif. And certainly, we're going to be here up to 9 o'clock tonight, inshallah, with the blessing of my parents. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you always joining us at about this time so we all can talk about the issues that matter to our country. You know, we all need to add our voices. We need to suggest, we need to make recommendations, and we need to put together ideas in moving our country, Liberia, forward. Let us now go back to the butchers. During those days when people want to take power or want to come in power, they go to the butchers and they do what they did. But this time, I want to say to you, let us disagree to agree, but we should not go back to the butchers. All we need to do is to maintain the peace of our country and move ahead. Welcome to the show if you're just joining us. My name is Sekou Sharif. And indeed, yeah, we're out again today, and too many things we're going to be doing on the show, too many of the issues we're going to be looking at on the show today. Shortly, we'll go on the line to talk to a Liberian journalist, and she works with the state radio. We're going to talk to her concerning this quote-unquote case, the case that has to do with the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, in person of Councillor Gloria Mususka. Every one of us have been hearing about that issue. But there's an issue that happened today at at the Supreme Court, which I want to bring to your attention. Um, I want to join Fabine, uh, who's an employee of State Radio. I'm going to join her tonight so that she can fill us in with this information that has to do with the appearance of Councillor Gloria Musu's cat as it relates to the case involving Charlie Musu. So we're going to talk to journalist Fabien Koya, who has since agreed to have us talk to her on the line this evening because she covers the court and she's schooled in that area and she understands what it is. Let me say good evening to you, Fabien. Thank you for joining us. Fabien, you want to shift a little bit so we can get you very clear?
Yes, I'm trying to move away from
Okay.
the noise.
Okay, that's good, very good. And as soon as she gets everything settled, and then we're going to continue our conversation with her. She's Fabi Kuya, a Liberian journalist, a veteran Liberian journalist, works with ELBC, and she covers state court. And we thought to weigh in as to what really transpired today at the grounds of the court when the Councillor Gloria Musu's card, when she appeared today, when they had a court hearing whatsoever. For a better word, she's going to tell us more. Fabien, good evening again. Thank you for joining us.
Well, good evening, Sekou, and good evening to your many listeners, and thanks for having me on this platform.
Fabien, I want to say thank you for taking our call, and just so that the people can know, like I've said, you are a journalist and you work with the state radio ELBC, but we thought to reach out to you. You know, a journalist is always a journalist, no matter the institution. To have you on to fill us in with what really transpired today on the grounds of the Temple of Justice. Do you care to tell us, did you see the presence of Councillor Gloria Mususka today at the Temple of Justice?
Yes, and so this morning at about 10:17 a.m., a work van from the Monrovia Central Prison with the wording Bureau of Corrections brought Councillor Gloria Mususka and 3 other family members at the grounds of the Temple of Justice, and they were heavily escorted and guided by armed men at Criminal Court A, where 2 motions by the legal team earlier filed was to be heard in court this morning.
What were the motions filed, by the way, Fabien?
Well, the legal team filed a motion to admit to bail earlier and then a motion for discovery. And so remember, last month of June 22, the Monrovia City Court earlier issued a writ of arrest on the former Chief Justice, where she and 3 others were arrested from a home down 16th Street and brought under the jurisdiction of the court. And that day in court, the lawyer did argue and did file that same motion for a bill, but then the judge reserved the ruling on a Friday. They came back to the court and the judge denied that motion on grounds that the Monrovia City Court, which is a magisterial court, lacked jurisdiction over the matter, and asked the court to transfer the case directly at the criminal court A. And so that case was transferred because they lacked jurisdiction. And so today, they were at the court with thousands of lawyers representing her at the court to argue and hear the 2 motions that were filed before criminal court A today.
Were the 2 motions granted or denied?
Well, the motion for discovery was granted under law, and the motion for admit to bail was denied. And so both things, both prosecution and defense lawyers, posted the arguments before the court on grounds that for the motion of discovery, it is by law that once a group of people or persons have been indicted, you must give them all the evidences that you gathered in order to draw the indictment. And so Gloria's legal team pursue the discovery process. And so tomorrow, July 5th, we expect prosecution to head all over all the evidences to Scott legal team. But for the motions were made to do, it was denied in court. And simple, prosecution argued that murder being a capital offense under our law is not bailable. And so regardless of their status, they don't think that because she was former Chief Justice or she was former Justice Minister, so she shouldn't be placed before the law. They argue that the law is the law. And so our team came out and argued that the indictment of a June against the client was premature. Having listened to both arguments in court today, Judge Roosevelt will deny that motion to admit to them. And so probably during the other term of court, we expect them to be brought back at that very good criminal court A to plead to the indictment when it's been there in open court, either to plead guilty or not guilty. And interestingly, defendant girls got to be full part of a legal team in court. And this was something that some journalists described as being strong and resilient because she argued like for 20 minutes on behalf of herself because she represented herself and she formed part of the legal team. And so both of the
Is that acceptable under the law?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. That isn't any crime. Sure, that isn't any crime because when she entered the court this morning, remember all of them had all these living blues jackets for females with the inscription Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation. She had a blue book or blue ledger, and I'm sure there was she had all the documents that she came to argue and proffer before the court. And so she's consistently to the point of her argument that prosecution needs to look out for the killer. Instead, they have adjudged them guilty by saying the murder. And so she was trying to get the clue of this word and alleged, which she said was in part of the indictment. It said murder. But as I said earlier, we expect that for the August term of court, when she did her reading in court, the indictment will be read, and she will answer, and she will plead guilty or not guilty. So we can wait for that.
What does it mean for defense and prosecution?
Well, the burden of proof now is prosecution that is prosecuting the former Chief Justice, the former Justice Minister, the former Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, and it's left the burden of proof left on prosecution to prove their case beyond all reasonable doubt. And in court today, I remember they said they have all evidences to prove whatever charges that have been leveled against former Chief Justice William Scott and Rebecca Whistler, Alice Johnson, and Gertrude Newton. So, as I said earlier, we await the court opening for the next term where the indictment will be read in open court and they will plead guilty or not guilty to all charges levied against them. Remember, murder in that area with all the crimes that were levied against them supersedes also. We expect to hear from them during the next court term.
What's the atmosphere, Fabian, like in open court today?
Well, the court was jam-packed, and there were a lot of personalities that came to listen to the hearing. And I remember former Foreign Minister Olubanki King Akireni was in court. Former Liberia County Senator John Balu was also in court. And there were a lot of personalities there. As I said earlier, she had a team of lawyers that we saw former Justice, Associate Justice, Kabila Janet in court, Wilkins Wright, Medina Reeser, HL President and Vice President, Kukudogo, and the list goes on the whole, Councilor Jimmy Bomo and Janetta Masekwa. And so she had a real large legal team. As I said earlier, we are waiting to see what's going to happen. The arguments are going to process for the clients during the next term of court.
One of the things that people will think about is this: were they given preferential treatment based on her status?
Well, some juniors around the court were wondering when they saw the van entering the courtyard and seeing correction officers escorting Glorious Cup and three others under the guidance of feminine armed men. They were wearing handcuffs. They were walking with the security. There was nothing like handcuffs, and they walked in court. I remember seeing them with few bottles of mineral water. And so after the war in court, they were escorted by the corrections officers and the court officers and placed on the prisoner's bench. And when they came to a call for hearing, when the motion was called for hearing, just cut them in a dot and there where they start.
Is it what that usually happen in these kinds of cases?
Not exactly. I will take you back. Like when you remember the case of Charles, Charlie, and others. I remember when they were being taken from the Liberian National Police from a heavy escort at the very maneuver-sitting court. They were handcuffed, if you remember, and that I remember. But in this case, I don't think they are flat race, meaning that once they are underneath the jurisdiction of the court and sitting at the maneuver prison, they don't mean any harm and they don't see them as defendants maybe that will leave the country or run away. So they were not on flight race. So it's left with the jurisdiction of the officers and the court. Probably because of that, they weren't treated like any other people. So a lot of people around the court today that we tried talking to were wondering, but it is what it is, and I think the law will take its course.
Thank you very much, Fabian, for joining us tonight on the show. We do appreciate.
Thanks so kindly.
Fabian Kuya is ELBC stars. He's a son at the grounds of the Temple of Justice there on the line, telling us about what did transpire today. We want to say thank you, Fabian, for that update on this show. And too many things coming up on the show tonight. Too many things coming up on the show tonight. And so let me see as whether we will have a word with Liberia's Information Minister, Lejo Reni, who's currently in Jerusalem, along with the president, and a very huge interaction there in Jerusalem. So we're trying to see a sort of so we will have the Minister of Information, Lejo Reni, on the line from Jerusalem to tell us about what's going on, how is it, what the government needed the president along with his entourage, what they've done, how far, what are the arrangements, and what Liberia stands to benefit as a country from the trip of the president, and some other issues taking place. That is what knowing about from that part of the world. We will go on the line to talk to the information minister. After the information minister will come back, we go to our international correspondents on the show tonight. So we're trying to see how sort of we can have Liberia's information minister, Lejo Julius Reni, who's following all of the activities there. He's also there, and I'm told there has been some discussions where Liberia will have some other, maybe, I don't want to jump the gun. Let me have the information minister on first, and then before I can jump the gun about what is it the president, along with his entourage, they've been doing, and how soon do they, Liberians should expect the president back in the country. As we try to establish a contact, mind you, we have time differences here. Let me try to be squeezing in our international correspondents on the show tonight. But we will still have the information minister. Let me go to our international desk to talk to our international correspondents on the show, so as to fill us in with what's happening from the international desk tonight on the show. We're going to be making a stop in Nigeria. We'll go to Cameroon, we'll go to Ghana, we'll go to Sierra Leone to talk to our correspondents who are there. Let me make a very first stop in Sierra Leone, where we're going to talk to the man John Wayfield, who's a Voice of Liberia correspondent in Sierra Leone, where the main opposition party in Sierra Leone, All People's Congress, says they will not participate in any level of governance until what they term as unprecedented daylight electoral, toppling of the people's mandate is amicably and satisfactorily addressed within the country. So they said There are parliament members whosoever will not participate in the governance in the country. On the line is Voice of Liberia correspondent John Whitfield. John, good evening and thank you tonight for joining us from Freetown, Sierra Leone on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, sir, and good evening to all our viewers.
John, give us more insight into this development where the main opposition party in Sierra Leone, All People's Congress, says they will not participate in any level of governance in the country. Why is it they're saying such?
So they have had a very strong position ever since the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone announced the results after Sierra Leone voted on the 24th of June. So they are of the very strong belief that President Yo did not win that particular election, and that election was rigged. They are of the strong belief that there has been what we call legal inconsistency, and they are of the strong belief that that result has been manipulated. So because of all of these things put together, and even after when the results of parliamentary and councillorship and chairman and mayorship have been announced, they still say that they are not going to be part of governance. If an independent body does not come to run elections, or the EPSL does not release the chief aggregated data, they are going to leave the governance structure in the hands of the Sierra People's Party, and they are not going to be part of anything concerning governance.
What are some of the issues they've pointed to for them to take such a decision?
So some of the issues they have pointed to have to do with the issue of tallying of figures. They have party agents in nearly all of the tally centers in the country, and they have held very strongly to local and international observer views that when it comes to transparency and accountability, especially when it comes to the final result, there has not been transparency. So they believe that what they had as figures and what the EPSL doing as figures are very flawed figures. Also, they spoke about the trust that they have in the EPSL. They believe that the EPSL is supposed to be an independent institution and the Electoral Commission of God should be apolitical. But they believe that the Electoral Commission wants to be a strong member of the party and they want to success them. And being said that, that is why they are not being transparent in the doing. Also, they did mention about the security forces, that the security forces are not taking an apolitical position, but rather they're taking a partisan position who attack their members of the security. So these are few of the issues that they have built up, and they decided to say that we are going to stay away from the governance of the country.
Is this decision, John, a unanimous decision or just from the executive members?
Well, this is the great news we have seen. It is unfortunate that we have not been able to talk directly to any members, but what was having that it will be very difficult for some of these members of parliament in particular to abandon their parliamentary duties, because when it comes to legislation, there are certain laws and number of things that member of parliament must not be absent. Otherwise, he or she will be replaced. So we are yet to see whether any of these people apply, and we are yet to tell whether it is unanimous. But what we can confirm is that this was the signed by the National Secretary General of the All People's Party. So for now, we'll say it's unanimous. But in the coming days, we'll tell whether they will stick to it or not.
Why can the party go to court instead of boycotting from governance in Sierra Leone?
In 2018, when President Yo won the election, we saw that under the very leadership of Samoa, we faced the party to conquer the election. But on 2018 to now, the court has not done anything. And this is one of the things that the court pointed out, which they have come to call unassigned cases. Also, they said that other high-profile political cases, chief justice used to judge it, and this includes other cases having to do with the Fair Labor Association, other cases having to do with a former MP that the name of this man Abdul. So there are kind of cases that the judiciary has not looked into. So they believe that going against the court will be like the court.
Thank you very much, John Whitfield, for that update from Sierra Leone on the show tonight. He's Voice of Liberia, Sierra Leone correspondent. He's been on the line from Freetown, Sierra Leone. We go to Ghana now to talk to our Ghanaian correspondent to fill us in with this development that has to do with the majority of parliament member that is in Ghana. Minority in parliament has taken a stand to abstain from parliamentary proceedings on days when the re-elected member of parliament for the Asin North constituency is scheduled to appear in court for an ongoing criminal case against him. We're going to go to our Ghanaian correspondent Jonas Biarobi, who's going to fill us in with this development. Why is it minority members within parliament are saying such? Is it they want to do that as a sign of support for one of their colleagues who's going to be, going to court on an allegation of criminal case against him? So we're going to talk to Jonas Biarobi, who's our correspondent in Ghana, who's going to fill us in with this development here tonight on the show. And as soon as we're done, Jonas, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Give us a background of the case and what the minorities' displeasure is all about.
All right, so let's as you read out earlier. So this whole thing is about a report I gave somewhere last week that we're going to have a by-election as a result of the Supreme Court annulling one member of parliament because somebody has taken the case to court with the accusation that that particular member of parliament was holding dual citizenship in the country, Canadian citizens and then Ghanaian citizens. So the Supreme Court ruled that his election should be annulled and his name be expunged from parliament. And so they held a by-election exactly a week today, last week Tuesday, and same person won the election again. He was sworn in as the new member of parliament today, Parliament, and as a result of that, the minority where he belongs, the opposition party where he belongs, are saying that one, he has been re-elected as a member of parliament, and the ruling government still wants to continue the case, the criminal case against him. They have decided to pursue the case on a daily basis instead of during intervals as a member of parliament. The minority is saying that until the government decide to review the hearing of his case, they are going to follow him to court every single day that he is supposed to appear in court, which means that the minority will not be in parliament business as usual. Any day the member of parliament is to appear in court, something that is actually going to affect the whole country, or it will even bring parliament to a halt because the numbers will not be parliament for them to have quorum and to discuss issues affecting the country.
What are the processes involved in the case?
Yeah, so the process is here is that after the civil case that was filed against this particular member of parliament for holding dual citizenship, on which the Supreme Court has ruled that they should go for another election, which has been done already. Another citizen has gone ahead to file a criminal case against him. Criminal case in a sense that the person is looking to for them to charge him of public defect, which means that he needs publicly every single day. The man is supposed to be in court.
So Jonas, Jonas, how will you describe the ongoing process?
Well, so for me, as a professional point of view and as a journalist point of view, I actually will say that it's something that it's not fair to just particular member of parliament in a sense that
Mm. Oh, we lost Jonas Biarobi. We'll go to Nigeria now to continue the conversation with our international correspondents. We're going to go to Nigeria to talk to Naomi Kumbenda, where the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria today opened and closed its defense in Peter Obi's petition challenging the results of the February 25 presidential election in the country. And so Naomi is a Voice of Liberia correspondent in Nigeria. Naomi, good evening.
Good evening, Crystal. Thank you for having me.
Bring us to speed with this development that has to do with the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria today opened and closed its defense in Peter Obi's petition challenging the results of the February 25 presidential elections in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much, Crystal. So, today at the election proceedings, INEC opened and closed case because INEC has been ongoing defending itself from the petition filed against it by Selby of the Labour Party and the Anti-Governor of the PDP and the followers. And so today the INEC said that although there were blurred materials which were downloaded by the PDP and APC in order to challenge the election, that those papers will not take the fact that the results of the polling units were not affected. And they're also claiming that Ascopa did not have any right to go ahead and present the facts which were outside what the lawyers had already presented to the court. And so many lawyers have come that presented so many lessons. Matter of fact, the ICC director was also there present today to defend INEC from the fact that INEC did not commit any offense. And other eyewitnesses too came on board. But the issue is that Peter Obi and I think Abubakar are still having some very strong facts against INEC. But INEC takes very close to this case. So far we are waiting for Abubakar tomorrow and also Tinubu to come and open their defense.
What are the faults identified by the Council of the Labour Party against INEC?
Okay, the Labour Party has identified quite a number of faults, which is the reason why it's calling for the victory given to Mr. Bola Tinubu to be set aside and then someone else will be declared the winner of the election. One of such indictment is that the INEC had already promised that it was going to publish all the election results on its viewing portal. That was one. And those results were never published on the portal. And they also said they were going to use a BVAS machine whereby as soon as you vote, it will capture your top pick and then it will register it as where any other person can be able to capture and see the result. And this was also not done. BVAS machine was not even working. And the same violence that was reoccurring, those buying which INEC had already promised Nigerians that was going to be avoided, was all not done. And the list of other incidents. To cut long story short, the INEC did not follow the laid down electoral rules that they were supposed to follow, which they were going to sign on the electoral act.
What are the expectations of Nigerians, especially party faithful or aggrieved parties who are in court as we speak, Naomi?
Okay, so INEC has closed its case today, so most Nigerians are saying, hey, INEC has not presented itself enough. But Nigerians are all waiting, especially those who are party faithful, are waiting with fight for change. The ruling party now come and defend itself. When it's able to defend itself, then maybe the court might do things differently this time. Who knows? But Nigerians are quite optimistic that things will be done differently, especially for the Labour Party. They're all chanting, so they're not giving up until
Thank you very much, Naomi Kumbenda. She's Voice of Liberia, Nigerian correspondent on the line there, joining us tonight on the show, telling us about the issue that has to do with the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria, where today opened and closed its defense in Peters Obi's petition challenging the results of the February 25 presidential elections in the part of Africa. So we go now to Cameroon, where we're going to speak with Alfonso Tibek, who's our Cameroonian correspondent. Amin State International says Cameroonian authorities must act to end what's going on. On the line is Alfonso Tibek joining us now from Bamenda in Cameroon. Alfonso, good evening and thank you tonight for joining us.
Thank you so much, Nico. It's a pleasure being with you tonight.
A very long report coming from Amnesty International which says that Cameroonian authorities must act to end violence against the population and conduct thorough investigations into the killings, acts of torture, rapes, burning of horses, and other atrocity committed in the Anglophone regions in Cameroon. Alfonso, did the rights group mention those committing the atrocities in her report?
Definitely, yes. Amnesty International, just to let you know, actually they are responsible conducted 2 visits to Cameroon. That was last spring, November, and this spring, March. And the organization actually met with more than 100 victims, some representing some NGOs as well as journalists in Cameroon. And the report actually documents some serious crimes committed by armed capitalists against the population, and also crimes committed by government forces against the population. Just to let you know that Amnesty International is at the same time they are documenting these atrocities against the population and by government forces and civilians. And one of the incidents that they noted that the authorities actually, burn down houses of minority groups here in the Northwest, which are known as the Fulani community, and that they also attack Fulani compounds in so many villages in the Northwest region because these Amber boys, went on a burning spree against this Fulani community because they have been condemning the atrocities the militias have been committing against, the position of the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. On the part of government forces, the report highlights some great human rights violations. According to testimonies of some of these victims that have now fled these regions are now in the French-speaking regions. These victims said that they were execution killings, rape, and other sexual violence against women by government forces in Cameroon.
The report also examines military cooperation between Cameroon and its international partners, focusing on the origins and direction of weapons in the crisis there. What did the report or the group say about this as well?
Exactly. So the organization actually identified several weapon types that actually emerged in some propaganda videos that were posted on social media by armed groups, which the organization says that suggest that some of the weapons used in the committing these crimes against the population were actually stolen from the Cameroonian army that operates through foreign assistance. So the
Thank you very much, Alfonso Tibet, on the line from Cameroon on the show tonight. I want to say thank you very much. That's how we call it a day on the segment of our international update here tonight on the show. I want to say thank you to all of our international correspondents tonight for bringing us to speed, making us to understand what are the issues making news in other parts of the world on Voice of Liberia tonight. And so I'm trying to see how sort of we can move on. There's this story in one of the local dailies. One of our major talking points gonna be the issue that has to do with the workers at Diakuna MDR. And so today we've decided not to have too many things on our plate so as to give us enough of time to talk about this issue. It is about the rights of Liberians. No matter how it is, no matter how many things we do, but the rights of Liberians is what matter in this case. So I'm going to read this story in one of the local dailies. Then before we move ahead, it says Bwaka risks arrest, and I'm going to read the story so that you can get it clear. It says United Party Standard Bearer Joseph Nyuma Bwaka, along with his officials, including the party's chairman, co-chair, secretary general, legal counsel, and chair on the steering committee, are at risk of being arrested and incarcerated at the Monrovia Central Prison, having failed to meet the deadline of Monday, July 3rd, 2023, to pay rents owned the Wajolo McLean Enterprise Incorporated. The amount in question is 200,000, and since August 16, 2022, the court has ordered the United Party to pay half of this amount, which is 103,075 United States dollars, or on before October 31, 2022. The remaining 50% was to be paid on or before December 15, 2022. Failure to fulfill these obligations will result in an execution to satisfy the court's judgment. On February 23, 2021, McLean filed a summary proceeding against the United Party chairman and all those in authority to recover possession of the real property. On November 23, 2021, the court held the Unity Party liable and ordered the sheriff to evict the Unity Party, that's UP. Additionally, they were ordered to pay arrears of 180,000 and an additional of 20,000 for wrongfully withholding the property. The McLean were then placed in possession of the said property, and the key was taken over to them. The McLean Enterprise then requested a rate of execution for the payment of 200,000. However, on June 14, 2022, the United Party filed a response for a payment stipulation. The petition was heard by Judge Nancy Finda Sami, who ordered the Unity Party to pay 25% of said amount within a week as of August 16, 2022. However, the Unity Party failed to comply with the mandate. However, on June 8, the Unity Party filed an application for a payment stipulation informing the court that they had paid 50,000, which represented 25% of the total amount, contrary to the judge's mandate. They requested to pay the balance in 4 equal installments. The court noted that since it's November 23, 2022 judgment and the filing of the bill of information, there has been no evidence of the Unity Party making efforts to pay the required 50% by October 31, 2022. Therefore, the court concluded that it would be left with no alternative but to enforce the November 23, 2021 judgment. In his ruling, Judge J. Kennedy Peabody of the 6th Judicial Circuit Court emphasized that the court had previously ordered the Unity Party to pay the full judgment by June 10. Failure to do so will result in the party being held in contempt. Judge Peabody stated that the ruling of May 16, 2023 is still in effect due to the UP's repeated failure to meet its own stipulations, meaning they that says that, okay, we'll pay the money this time and we'll do this time, but they fail to pay. Consequently, the court denied the UP's stipulated request and overruled it. Hence, Judge Peabody gave the UP an additional deadline until July 3rd to pay the full amount of arrears owed to McLean. The respondent Unity Party is hereby giving up to and including 3rd of July 2023, same day being Monday, to satisfy the full judgment amount. Failure to comply with this ruling, the sheriff of the court is ordered to arrest the living bodies of the standard bearer. Talking about Joe Boga. Living body of the standard bearer. Who is the standard bearer of Unity Party? Joe Boga. Oh my God. Okay, a standard bearer of Unity Party, the chairman of the Unity Party, the secretary general of the Unity Party, without notice to them and brought forth before this court and show causes or assets of respondent Unity Party to be praising pending the satisfaction of said judgment. Judge Peabody ruled. So they said, by now, I don't know if they settled it, but by now, Joe Walker and the other people, they were to be placed behind bar, was sent to prison for not paying, their rent and everything. And let me say this, I think politicians, particularly those of the people in Unity Party, they're a bunch of unserious people. I want to say this with all fairness. Of a party that served this country for 12 years, 12 years, think about rentage and all these things. Should that be something we'll be talking about? Yeah. And so it shows lack of leadership, no vision, nothing in the camp. If to say Amin Moda could not give his building by now, Unity Party could be somewhere else. They could be out. These are things I don't know, but this is it, and we wait to see how it plays out, and see how it plays out, whether the court will go ahead and do what it will do. But let me take a few calls of it. Let me hear your appearance, and then when we come back now, we move into this very important issue, folks. 0770907907. You're listening to Fabine. She told you about what happened today at the Supreme Court, and also the issue about Unity Party and our international correspondence. Maybe you want to weigh in on 0770907907, are the numbers. Let me take a few of your calls. Hello. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Go ahead. Okay, thank you very much. This person, hello? Yes? Mm-hmm. Mm. Let me take this person here. Hello? Good evening, let's hear you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let me take another person here. Hello? Hello? Good evening. Let me take this person. Hello? Yeah. Go ahead, Solomon. Hmm. Thank you very much. Hello. Good evening, sir. Go ahead, my brother. Let's hear you. Mm. Oh, you. You don't think this is a slap in the face of Unity Party? It is not a slap in the face of Unity Party that your political leader will be dragged to jail. But in so doing, okay, very good. It's good to pay, but the people not paying. So the court is saying that all the efforts they made, stay, the people can pay. So they come to put the political leader in jail. Oh, thank you very much. Let me take another person. Hello. Good evening. Sam, go ahead. Hey, my man, this is a newspaper that today. Hello, sir. You said I said something which I did not say. I'm reading a newspaper that is reporting. It's a newspaper of today's date. Then you say I said, and I know. Where did I say to you? I know. They've not paid. Of yesterday, of the present. I'm telling you, sir, they've not paid. You. Mm. So which background investigation that you do? Amen. Amen. Listen. Stop contradicting yourself, please. Thank you very much for your point. Hello? Okay, let me take another person here. This person on the line. You don't need to contradict yourself. Good evening. Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you. Mm-hmm. So why you don't pay your whole rent here? The people who are in. Okay, so you should owe and disrespect the code because the code say pay, you can't pay. Pay, you can't pay. You go, you lie to the code, so you pay the time, you can't pay. But you didn't hear the story? You didn't hear me reading the story? They said all the stipulation you people made, you're not live up to it. I'm not asking about that. What I'm saying here is about they paying what they're supposed to pay. Look at the silly question they may asking. Hey, say the oil brought bill to you. That means it's supposed to bring bill to. Good evening. Good evening. Speak to the issue. Don't go attack the man. Don't lie. Don't lie. I beg you, man. How you can say Joe Buck? I'll be going to jail. It'll be a strange thing. What kind of man is so? Hello. What? You think say listen to me? Hello. You think say listen to me? You think say that your show here? Eh? Where you come and tell me you owe, you do everything? You think you got right to say, you got right to be calling you like that, eh? Hello? Go ahead, let's hear you. You owe the man what thing. Go ahead. Solomon. Yeah. You mind, eh? Let me tell you something. This is a slap in the face. Today, I never wanted to go in deep with this whole thing, but I need to provide some analysis here. This is a slap in the face to you, Unity partisans. You know, at times we allow politicians to use us, and we accept them to make us to understand that we are stupid. You have the bulk of the people, the elite. Of recent, Yomli Kaka Lawrence had her birthday. Did she go on Broad Street to say the Zogos? She hails from Grand Bassa County. Did she go to Grand Bassa County and say, okay, the 80,000 or the 100,000 that she used to that place could help the hospital in Grand Bassa County? Did she do it? You think the people like you? You think the people are leaders to help you people? The people are doing these things for themselves because they think say they should be in power, their children should benefit at the detriment of you people, and you still sit there and think that what they've done, it is something good. You think Unity Party should be taken serious? The 100,000 or the whatsoever they use, why didn't they pay the people money? But because it is entrenched into them, it's something that they are not respecter of laws. Joe Walker of all persons supposed to respect the court. Joe of all persons should respect the laws of our country. When the court said do this, he's the more odious person among all the United Party people. Said, no, my children, y'all know why? The court said, we might do the thing here. Let's do it the right way because I want to be a respecter of the law. Is this the man I want to be president? Where can I respect what he says to the court? Then you come here, you want to think, say, oh, we sugarcoat things. You told the court, say, oh, you will pay. All the stipulations you've given the court, you did not live up to it. Somebody got to be running behind you to do your own obligation. That how you think of father. Any responsible or serious father will want to be reminded of his responsibility? No. No serious father will want to be reminded of his responsibility. Like for me, you know, say you're supposed to send your children to school. Your children are supposed to eat. They're supposed to wear clothes. They're supposed to sleep to a decent place, create an environment for them. Then some of them will remind me before I do it that I'm not a responsible father. I'm not. It is in the case of Unity Party. You use someone bedding for years. To pay the people money, they gotta be chasing you, they gotta be carrying you to court, they gotta be doing all kinds of things. You've gone to the court, you've done stipulations, you failed to live up to what you said. And then you come here, you want to talk as if to say you're serious? Who's saying that they want Joe Walker to go to jail? No one talking about Joe to go to jail or not to go to jail yet. If he does something against the law, he will go to jail. He's not above the law. But a serious father, a leader will not behave the way Joe behaving. Now, sometimes that's the reason why sometimes it comes to me and I want to believe that Joe is not, he's not doing these things by himself. Apparently that he because of his age, so there are a lot of things happening. It is what because of what the way he go ahead and do these things, right? I think this is it. Because you can't go to the court and tell the court, say, oh, you will pay the money so and so time. You cannot pay. Then when somebody says, oh, we're not allowed him in. No, nobody's saying that that man should go to jail. No, it's not about jail business. I know people like Joe Walker to go to jail. It is possible, but it's difficult. Most especially these kinds of things, you have people to come. But why can't they pay this money? They can take money to go chat a whole farming. And that tell you how the people are. They only do things that benefit them directly, not the large majority. You don't think that that's an insult to some of you that support the people? Yeah, they say, oh, birthday. Also, you think that you're the common man, you are not to participate in a birthday celebration with people that you only, right? The only thing they need you for is your votes. So they continue to ride the big cars, send their children in the United States, send their children to best schools around the world, while you stay here and you call on the radio every day, you barely have food to eat. How many of you, apart from elites, that went on the birthday celebration of Yomli, how many of you were invited? No, you can't be invited because you are not part of that class. That's how they see you people. You are not part. You saw the kind of people that are there. You supposed to go there, you get a car. You supposed to go there, you wear $200 clothes. You supposed to go there, you wear $50 shoe. No, none of you. That money could even start a business for some of our people. If these people really show they really love you all, or they really want to govern in this country and provide the leadership, they should start setting an example. You can't go take thousands of dollars in these kinds of difficult times, a very difficult time in our country, and go celebrating, and they can't say fundraiser. How many they raise? Okay, the money now y'all raise. Y'all go pay the people money now. We agree. Y'all went to go do it for fundraising stuff. So where the money? Y'all go pay the people now. Because y'all know that brother says they home. So it that tells you that they are not leaders. Because a leader should not be reminded of his responsibility. Because you always say, oh yeah, we did it, we want to raise some funds, we did some this and all of that. Okay, that's good. You did it. Where's the money? Why can't you pay the people rented? You will be dragging. You've gone to the court. You made stipulations. You said, I will pay this time. You've not paid. But this is the man that wants to be president of this country. So it gets simple. Like I said, a father should not be reminded of his responsibility. Any father that is reminded of his responsibility, he's a father friend. And it is in the case with Joe Walker. Joe Walker is a leader friend. He's not a leader. Because as a leader, one thing you will say, I will need to get off my back is this issue about someone saying that, oh, we are indebted to them and everything. Let's do everything to do it. Let's stop some of the things even to do it and everything and make this to work. So that for once we can have our name off the hook on this issue. It is not bad that people gave their headquarters or their building to you to use it for years. You get paid. Then somebody say, oh, holding that something. Hey man, for God's sake, is it how we want to encourage our leaders? Even if when they're doing bad, we want to encourage them to say, oh, what they're doing is good. No, it is not good. It is a Liberian that they deprive him to give that money. A Liberian. You say, oh, that there one person, but it's a whole family that Unity Party is depriving. The people gave you when you need it. You've used it and you refused to pay. Now you see how it is? Let me take a few calls again. At 7:45, we call it a day, and then we transition now on the issue about Diakona. Today I will take enough time on Diakona. 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907, We're talking about this issue, and I just wanted to pack, but then some of you make it to look, so we will take our time now to talk about it. Why can't you pay the people? You're going to pay the people money. Hello? Good evening. Paul, go ahead, my brother. That is simple thing. A father will not allow himself to be reminded of his obligation. Hello. Good evening. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Let me take this person. Hello. Oh, too bad. Hello. Good evening. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Oh, too bad you left the line. Let me take another person here. Hello. Go ahead. Mm. Bye. Go ahead. So that how you see it? Okay, thank you very much. Hello. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. So who's coming up with it? Who's coming up with it? Is it false? No, is it false? I'm asking you, is it false that Unity Party is not indebted? So that the case here, that's the case here of Joe Guaca. He's irresponsible, right? Good evening. Yes, go ahead. Mm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello. Good evening. Is this my friend? Hey, Lawrence Spencer. My man, been a while. Okay, brother. Go ahead. Let's hear you. Doing great. Mm. Mhm. Mm-hmm. You're telling me to sleep there is $250 per room a net. Mm. Hey. Yeah. Oh, not knowing that on a Monday. Mm-hmm. Yo. Yeah. you could use the current Unity Party headquarters to save money. That's how real leaders behave. She's so emotional. No, she can. Yeah. So they even care. They don't care about how the people feel about it. They don't care. Yeah. Yeah. Now, irresponsible way of behaving, a good leader or father will not be reminded of what he needs to do for his children. Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Let me take another person there. But that's the fair truth. It will hurt, but it's good to say. Hello? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, let me take another person. You want me to come do yes or what thing? Hello? Good evening, go ahead. Peter, go ahead. Thank you very much. This person, hello. Good evening. Okay, go ahead. You are live. Go ahead. Sir, how old are you, sir? How old are you, sir? How old are you? 27 years? How many times you voted in elections? Your second time. Do you understand what? Go ahead, talk. I give you a chance. You talk today. Talk. My man, money finio. I want you to talk today. Hello. Hello. I want my man to be talking and everything. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, let me take another person. Hello. Yeah, good evening. What's your name? What's your name? But I want you think that you get share in the player where you be fighting to. Hello, you think you get share? Listen, let me ask you, you get share in the play? I beg you, man. And just to say, yes, share, he said, he called and the call, he said, hello? Yeah, good evening, let's hear you. You can't hear very bad though. We're not hearing you on the radio though. Hello? I pause you? You the guy that was talking outside when you be talking, right? Ain't you the guy that said I wanted you to keep talking? Ain't you the guy that said I wanted you to keep talking? No, apparently I needed to take another person because your time, ended. Okay, let me take another person here. Hello? Good evening, sir. Go ahead. Raymond, go ahead. You feeling? Thank you very much. But I want you to call back. I want you to tell the library people who gave me the money to open the station. Hello? No, we ain't get any proof to that. Thank you. Let me take this person. Hello? Good evening. Let's hear you. This is Poker Roberts. Poker. Poker. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me take this person here. Hello. Good evening, sir. Vocal Mention. Go ahead, sir. He's a what? Skimmer. Tell me it. Mm. Mm. Thank you very much. Let me take more calls. Hello, good evening. Mm. Tell about take it. Say you on the line. You on the line. Go ahead. I give you time. We hear you. Go ahead. So you were there that day when the honorable man gave the 100,000, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. No, talk about the 100,000 year first. Now then before you go to, I'll give you time. My man, take your time now. Wait now, wait, my man. If you do it, I will not let you to talk. Wait now, calm down, my man, calm down. Let's have a conversation. Amen. You left the line. Let's have a conversation. I won't give you the time. Discuss the other issue first. Where you said they gave the 100,000, when you are true with that, so the public will get the actual information from you. Then you can move ahead to another area, and you move ahead, you flow. I wanted to give you the opportunity, but then you just rushing, talking. You went up. Good evening, sir. Mm-hmm. No, leader, I will not waste your time on it. Discuss the issue, leader, man. No, don't watch in. Let's watch our words. Don't worry. We need to give everyone the opportunity and let it express themselves and all of that. I'm gonna take roughly 2 more calls on this issue, and then I take a break. And then when I return, then we'll move into something different tonight on the show. I'm gonna take 2 more calls. Hello. Good evening. Yeah, go ahead, sir. So how did sedition do it now? That they didn't want to go all the people? Me and who? Me and who the people? Yeah. Oh. Oh. How old are you, Papa? How old are you? How old are you? Huh? You born nothing when you 20 something 9 years old, eh? Tell me something. But Papa, you older that day, you say you making the right decision. Oh. But if for the children, you want you want the old man to go by there. Eh? Okay, oh Papa, you are young, you for there, what happened? Okay, thank you very much. Let me take the last caller. I need to transition now. Let me take this person. Hello. Good evening, sir. Let's hear you. Close this one. Mm-hmm. You finish? You finish? No, but you say I asked you, you finish, and you say no, that question. So that question can answer question. Okay, so we're not having or answer a question thing here, yeah? I allow you, you've done it, everything. Let's take a break and be right back. What the fuck when you play my team song? You can be saying I'll be doing stupid here.
No, I thought
But you're supposed to play my team song and say I'm taking a break. And my team song is supposed to play?
sorry, Chief.
I only read it. Oh. It is time to unite. And certainly, we are all Liberians, no matter our differences on political issues. Oh, yes. My name is Sekou Sharif. Indeed, I'm here up to 9 o'clock tonight. Like I said, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who phone in. Some of you disagree, you agree on the first segment of our discussion. It is about time we transition now to something very important for us. And I'm going to take my time a bit. And I want to say this is not about politics. You know, when it is about time we discuss the political issues, we can discuss it. If it is about time about human interests, we need to talk about the important issues about our citizens. For those of you just joining us, folks, a couple of days we've been talking about something happening to Liberians. And I've always said it is not about the number of persons, but once they are Liberians, it should concern every well-meaning Liberian. Like the case with our brothers and sisters that worked with their corner MDR. So it's so good, like I said, today we're going to have ample time. We were able to have, during our investigation today, the amended article of incorporation of the Akona MDR. And I'll give you a little historicity and who are the owners, how it came to be, how they did a share, and then I move into what they've done and what they continue to do, how we will continue to talk about the ills from the Akona MDR, with those of the people responsible, and also the folks at the Ministry of Labor. Fellow Liberians, the government of Liberia has branches. You have 3 branches of government. You have the executive, you have the judiciary, and you have the legislature, which made up the 3 branches of the government. And then the executive branch of government is responsible to enforce the laws. And the judiciary is responsible to interpret the laws. And the legislature is responsible to make the laws. So now you see how the 3 branches of government work together. So part of the 3 branches, they all have got important part to play. And so in this context of our discussion, it lies within the executives, where one of the ministries within the executives' power lies that has to do with the workforce of our country. Anything that has to do with work-related issues, it falls under the Ministry of Labor. So that ministry responsible to handle the affairs and handle the issues of labor-related issues has to do with workforce in our country. One of the major functions of the Ministry of Labor is to create an enabling environment for the workforce where employers' rights should be protected, employees' rights should be protected. So in that context, no one of the parties' rights should be infringed upon, no matter who they are or what they can afford. That brings me to this point. The Akona MDR, they call it, that is the acronym, how they call it for short, because in this, their document, the article of amendment in opposition, I'm going to read a portion of it. I won't just tell you. The amendment was done, and it was done, they said, on the notary certificate says on the first day of November AD 2019. And so that amendment was done, they put it there, blah, 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 blah. But the articles of amendment of the articles of incorporation of Diacona Microfinance Deposit Taking Institution Incorporated, which is in our possession. They said the minimum amount they open the money, they start with, they said $1 million United States dollars. It is what in the document. And the sole purpose that said institution was established, like I've said to you, fellow Liberians, this company is a Norwegian company. The incorporators or owners of this company, they are from Norway. So the data amendment of the article of incorporation, which is legally done, and you can do it, you can say share, you can do all these things and all of that, to allow another company to have pumped in some money to give them share. But that company, they gave 10%. And that company also, or individual also, is from Norway. So the CEO of this company, as per this document, is serving Annie Lendy. And he's one of the persons that we sent the email to as one of the board members. But on this document, I got to understand that he is the CEO. So this company was open, and I'll read you the document from Central Bank, not today, because we need to take it step by step so Liberians will understand exactly what has happened. And with the sole intent to do a legal business in Liberia. They got their document from the Central Bank of Liberia to do microfinance or loan issue around 2014. So they started to hire Liberians, qualified Liberians. And Liberians decided to send in their letter of applications and everything. They took them. By that time, the current managing director of the company was not the managing director by that time. He was serving as a consultant. The current managing director is Mwenda B. Albo Kanzandi. Mwenda B. Albo Kanzandi was a consultant to the company by that time. When the people opened the company, fellow Liberians, they opened the company on a very good start. The people started to work. They employed people, and the tariffs, or for a better word, the money when people go take loan, because I want to put it in simple Liberian English, so our mothers, fathers, our brothers and sisters that are not educated will understand exactly what is it we are saying. The tariff for monies, when you go and take loans for them, how much you are to pay, and in terms of interest and how it should be on payments or whatsoever. By that time, it was very reasonable where Liberians would take money and benefit from it. So those of the people they employed, they started to work and started to meet the target of the company. Salaries were intact. Most of the branches they had operated smoothly. So in that process, those of the people that were employed, they were not contractors, were employed with the company. The same thing happened in the banking system. Most of the bankers will take loans from the bank, and the bank serves as a guarantor because it has the power to get the salaries of those employees that are taking loan. Because in common sense, if you look at the salaries that people are making on a monthly basis, and you say you want the people to rely on that salary, maybe to do what they want to do, close that in. Okay. Maybe they rely on that salary to do what they're supposed to do. You need to be smart always. And it is somewhat difficult because, for example, you're paying someone 200 or maybe 150 or 300, 400, maybe to do something, it will be difficult. So at the end of the day, people will need to take loan. So like I said, during that time, the current MD was part of the board, right? He was part of the board, right? So those of the people that were employed fellow Liberians, they decided to take a loan. So the structure was being out, the management was intact. By that time, Mwanda B. Abel Kanzandi was part of the board of Diakona MDR. At certain time, he became consultant. At certain time, right? He became consultant. When he became consultant, they then money at MD. At a certain point, they asked him to serve as acting MD before he became the current MD as we speak. So I'm trying to say to you that this process and how it started. So when those Liberians that were working for a couple of years, more than 4, 5, 6, 7 years with the company, when they took the loan, Diakona serving as a guarantor for them, because the only way people will give you loan, you need to prove to said company that you are able to pay the loan back. That's one of the major requirements. So the only way those Liberians that were working with Diakona could get a loan was because they were employees, which any institution can do. Even you have the central bank, you have other government ministries and agencies, you have other private, like I said, banking institutions can do it. Like you see some of the, people working with bank, you see them riding luxurious cars or living the kind of a life. It's not that, it is the money they're making, but the bank helps to give loan and the bank takes the loan from them. So in that process, the bank cannot go and dismiss them. The only way they can be dismissed when they are found liable for something against the bank policy. So when the workers at the time were working with Diakona, they took the loan. Diakona had the means to take from their salaries 33% of their salaries on a monthly basis to what? To service their loan. Some of them took loan varies. Some of them maybe, for example, I don't want to be exact. For example, some of them took loan around 5,000, around 2,000, around 3,000. Yes, it is acceptable. It is not wrong. So when they took the loan, with the sole intent that, okay, they said the only way they can get the loan is because they want guarantor, which Diakona serves as a guarantor because they're working with Diakona. Diakona knows how to get the money. When the month ends, they finish working and they're about to pay the salaries, Diakona takes the 33%. By that time, the interest rate was as low to the point to service their loan. Right? By that time, the interest rate was so as low to service their loan. Was not as high the way in which now it has gone. And they took the loan at the rate of 1.25. That was the rate in which the people took the loan. Now you see how it is? Meaning, it was nice. It allows the people to pay. They can take something more at the end of the month. We're talking about Liberians here, fellow Liberians. They may not be your mothers, your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, but they're Liberians. And once a Liberian succeeds, it should satisfy every one of us. If a Liberian can build himself or herself a house, it is something that we need to be grateful for. It could be in your case tomorrow. It could be you tomorrow. So when they gave the loan to them, they started to pay the loan back. In the process, they knew, I want you to listen to the story. The new managing director that is there took over the institution. Mwenda Abo Kanzandi took over the institution. But then there was no problem though. The people were servicing their loans. The people were employed, they were working, doing what they needed to do. When he took over, because of lack of managerial skills, you know what did he do? Boom! He decided to increase the workforce. How did he do it? He brought on friends, bringing people that work into different institutions. Even though they were working to different institutions, he kept them on the payroll of Diakona. I have the payroll. He kept them on the payroll of Diakona, increased their salary more than the people that been there working, doing the similar work. And he continues to increase the salary or the payroll of Diakona. So there came a problem. The board members, owners of the opponent said, we can be paying a certain amount of money. We've been paying, for example, 5,000 or 10,000, just for example, on a monthly basis for this period of the year. How come we've reached to this point now, we're paying this amount of money? So the only thing you need to do is take this payroll back to where it has been as we continue to operate the institution. So you know what the man did? Like I said, lack of managerial skills. You take over the people institution and you decided to run it your own will. Lack of leadership ability. You decided to put in friends, girlfriends, and all kinds of people in positions within the people company, gave them more money, beating the standards or procedure they've got because you think you're a managing director or you are head, then it reached to a point. So the only thing you could do is to go ahead now and witch hunt. But forgetting to know that There were people that been employed for years. And these people, they've taken loans. They did not know, and the management don't have anything to say to put them down, because if you know that you will put them down, you will not give them loan for a particular period of years. So this time around, Kansandi Albert, who is the MD now, decided to witch hunt few people within the institutions because they have branches. So he went to work and said they would do redundancy. Listen, redundancy, it is accepted under the laws of Liberia, particularly the Decent Work Act that talks about redundancy. It is accepted. But how you go about the redundancy is what matters. So, those of the people that were working for a couple of years, that, like we say in the simple English, they started the institution. They took their loans for a period of 3 years. So meaning in 3-year period, they were to pay their loan. Because the calculation and whatsoever, the assurances of the job they're doing, because their corner is there and everything, they could pay their loan in 3 years, meaning they don't own their corner anymore. They remain as stars within their corner and continue to work. Unfortunately, when this man bloated the payroll, he was being asked by the board, instead of him to do due diligence, in a sense where he will follow what the law says, Pop, he decided to do illegal redundancy. Forgetting to know that those Liberians that he's trying to illegally redundant, they don't have any means, nowhere to get money from to service the loan. So what did he do? He ran to where? To the Ministry of Labor. Let me read you the letter the opponent wrote to the Ministry of Labor, asking, and you are listening to what is in the letter. Everything I'm going to say today, I'm going to say them on facts. So he wrote a letter on February 20th, 2023. It reads, it said, Honorable Charles J.L. Gibson, Minister, Ministry of Labor, Republic of Liberia, Ministerial Complex, Congo Town, Monrovia, Liberia. Reference. It said, notice of intention to termination of employment by redundancy. Listen. He wrote the people, wrote the minister, requesting to do redundancy. Let me read the letter. It said, Dear Honorable Gibson, in keeping with the requirements of Section 14.5 of the Decent Work Act of 2015, we write to inform the Ministry of Labor of our intention to terminate the employment of 15 employees who are with the Konya microfinance deposit taking institution, owing to an ongoing economic downtrend in its business. The following categories, positions of the employees will be affected. They name them: audit assistant, compliance officer, risks officer, recovery team leader, retail business manager, blah, 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 blah. Termination is pleased, termination is pleased to be progressing starting from the 21st of blah, 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 blah. 15 employees will accordingly be timely notified of their blah, 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 blah. So listen, in this termination letter, this is how it works. The same told the Ministry of Labor it is the Ministry of Labor responsibility to do what they call due diligence. Because you know the reason why the Ministry of Labor will do due diligence? It is because the Ministry of Labor wants to understand if whether what the company is saying that they want to do redundancy, it is because of economic reason. It is the true story said company is giving to them. Because like what their corner is doing, other companies witch hunt people and say they want to do redundancy and give false information to the Ministry of Labor. If the Ministry of Labor cannot do her own due diligence and accept it, it becomes a problem and takes Liberians from out of job. So in this case, what the Ministry of Labor should have done, they did not do it. When the people wrote the letter, they said because of economic reasons. Let's agree. So the law says, let me go to what the law says. Everything, like I said tonight, I'm going to read you what the law says. Fellow Liberians, you listen to me. I read the letter from Diakona. There's nothing in Diakona that says they are redundant the people because they want the positions are there. They don't need them. No, they said, what was the reason? They said because of economic reason. Let me read you what the law says. The Decent Work Act 2015 passed. It is a law. It says, Section 14.4, grounds for termination of indefinite employment. A, it says, an employer may only terminate the employment of an employee engaged for indefinite employment for just cause based on 1. The ability of the employee to perform the work required of them in accordance with the terms of, meaning, let me explain. They said the only way you can do the termination of grounds for termination of indefinite employment, what you need to do, they said when you cannot do the work in which you've been hired to do, either because their contract, any collective agreement that applies to their work, or the act and any regulations may honor it, or the conduct of the employee at work, or in circumstances which have a real and substantial connection to the working relation, or the operational requirements of the undertaking establishment or service. B, in all cases, an employer shall implement a fair internal procedure before making a final decision whether to terminate an employee's employment. So you listen, they say, now there's a reason why those of the people that made the law, they knew that all these things would come from. They knew that at the end of the day, these things will come and people will say these things and people will want to make these things to look as if to say they want to witch hunt people. So B, they said in all cases, an employer shall implement a fair internal procedure before making a final decision whether to terminate an employee's employment. You should do what? You should do a fair internal check in the system. Know first of all who really is supposed to be redundant or who's supposed to leave the job. So it brings about the point where the friends that Kanzandi brought in to work, paid a huge amount of money. At the end of the day, they were to be the ones to be what? Terminated. They were to be redundant. They were to be the ones to be redundant by now because they were the ones that just came in the picture. They've not been there. They've not worked for long. But because they are his friends and he pays them more money for what reason he knows of it, so he doesn't care. But the people that have been there working, help the institution to be where it is, they are the ones that he has witch hunt to do redundancy. Now, it says, Section 14.5, termination of employment for redundancy. You see it? They broke it down. Section A, they said this section applies to redundancy where an employer is considering terminating the employment of one or more employees by reducing the number of employees as a result of a reorganization. Listen, you see the reasons why they give you. They say, based on these things, listen, if, for example, Diakona said in her letter she wrote to the Ministry of Labor, say, we want to do redundancy because we want to do what? Reorganization or transfer of the business. Are they doing transfer of the business? Certainly no. Are they doing reorganization? Certainly no. Or a discontinuance or reduction of the business for economic. What is it they wrote the letter for? What? And they said because of what? Economic what? Reason. They said technological or structural reasons, including for reasons of bankruptcy, dissolution, closure, or seizures of the business. B, listen to what they say here. They say this section applies to whether you will say, okay, all these things, either maybe Diakona MDR wrote the Ministry of Labor, say, okay, you know what? Because we want to reorganize the thing, we want to do redundancy, we want to put all the people down. Or because we want to do structural issue, we will put the people down. So the Lord said, when you want to do these things, because of economic, what did they say in the letter? They said because of what? Economic reason. So B, the law says, an employer shall provide notice to the employee under section 14.6 and pay severance pay to an employee if the employee's employment is terminated because of economic what? Reasons. C, an employee whose employment is terminated because of economic reasons is entitled to 4 weeks of severance pay for each completed year of service. Is Diakona willing to do it? Yes, they said they want to pay the severance pay. Yes. D, the obligation in this section to pay severance pay operates in addition to any other obligation arising from the termination of the employee's employment, whether under this act or otherwise. E, when terminating, listen folks, when terminating which employees to make redundant, the employer shall adopt. Y'all listen. They say when you do, and that's the reason why I took my time to read from up to where I am. Once it is because of economic reason, these are steps they tell you to follow. They say when terminating which employees to make redundant, the employer shall adopt the principle of first in, last out. Meaning, when they say first in, last out, what they mean is those of the people that came in first, when they opened the institution, the people that are working there way back, those people are to be the ones to leave last. So the people that just came in now are to be the ones to go now. First in, last out. Yes, the law says, first in, last out. However, when the length of service of the employee shall be relatively equal to the employer shall consider qualifications and efficiency. So in the case they say, okay, maybe, you know what, we have too many persons, let's just say almost all the people that are here, they've been here for the same number of years, they've stayed the same number of years here, and it is difficult for us to do it, then they look at the qualification. But in this case, no, it did not happen that way. In this case, it did not happen that way. What has happened is what Diakona has done under the stewardship of Albert Kanzani is to tell the people that, okay, those of the people that took the loan, they were redundant them. They should pay the loan while they be redundant. I don't know how they understand this thing. And then what they've done, instead of the 1.25% rate they gave the loan to the people, they gave it to them for 3%. Are you kidding me? It's just that, oh, okay, they're gonna MD and they want to get few Liberians and put them in jail, because where do you expect them to get money from? Where do you expect them to work and pay said amount of money to their opponent MDR? Yeah, it's the frustrating part of it. When the workers decided to go to labor, the workers went to labor. They met with one of the ministers. Let me play you one of the recordings to tell you how this country, how people use that proximity and do things. I'm going to play you a recording where you will listen to the managing director of this company, how they gushed while telling the people about redundancy, talk to their office, EPS officer, to beat on these peaceful citizens, to intimidate them for their own rights. You want to redundant the people, and the people think that the way in which you want to do the redundancy is not the right way. You're listening to this, and I will play you another audio where you will listen to the folks from the Ministry of Labor, Ruth, along with the other people, admitting, including their lawyers, saying that it was not the right thing done by the people at Daconia, MDR. Then I will take you to emails. Then I will take you to messages. Then I will play you other audios. But let me play you the audio first, where meetings were made by the MD that they carry EPS office, ERU officers on the grounds of their corner office. For what reason? Why you want to use power over peaceful Liberians? You want to redundant the people? The simple thing, yeah, if you redundant them, yeah, it's good. You pay their service pay, is good. Where do you expect them to get money to pay the loan when you are increasing the loan, the rate of the loan? For God's sake, they should even claim the attention of the people at the Ministry of Labor to say, okay, no, you know what? You're doing the redundancy. The people are now at fault. You can be redundant in, you're increasing the rate of the loan, and then you're telling the people to pay the loan within 3 months. So meaning when they were paying, for example, 200, they should be paying 300 or 400 out of a job, under the economy, looking at how things are difficult in Liberia. Are you kidding me? Then you have Ruth Bayoga, that should be of all person, do things in the interest of the Liberian people. She sits there and she accepts these things, and she against the workers, by the way. Let me play you this audio first.
I told you call him here.
Hey, what are you playing?
The EPL.
Why you don't need your parents school?
No, but I had it's too go. I told you call him again. Then call back home. I had to go.
No.
Yeah.
You think quite a good if you don't do it.
Yeah.
If I want to go your pay.
If you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't know yo, I get it.
I'm going to send to save my play.
Who got in? I don't say man.
The Kaduna, and over there.
Yeah, kuna yeah. I know. Name for yo.
Yeah.
Name for yo.
Oh yeah.
Kasi yeah, I don't say which issue to not to
Yeah. Not too bad. We don't know. Oh, you change it?
But I see him playing. I don't think we got from when say on the point better than minister ni. Long I get it. I don't think we got I get a video.
Yeah, he played. That's not good again. Well, he not two there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're listening. One of the stars asking them at the Ministry of Labor. You're listening to the managing director in person of Albo Kanzangi. Listen to what the man is saying. Now it tells you, you see how people intimidate people in Liberia. You can be doing peaceful redundancy, and you're taking police officers, ERU officers on the grounds of the players. They have to say you're going to fight a war or somebody fighting you. Listen to the response from the MD. So why must you carry police officers when you're doing redundancy? If you know say you're doing redundancy on the railway and you're doing now, you see the similar thing that they did. It is the same thing they took to labor. Now when they manipulated the system and labor again, amen, for God's sake, who will stand for appearance? For once we say, okay, you know what? For once we do something in the interest of the Liberian people. What redundancy got to do with ERU officers to come to office? What was the intent of you bringing ERU officers to the office when you want to redundant the people that have worked for you? It's your crime what they've done for you? It's your crime? So now that's one aspect. I want you to play it again and let the Liberian people hear it. Then we'll move on to something different. You know, sometimes these things hurt. You work for an institution, instead of them to respectfully, honorably retire you. This is how they do it. And they get the support of the people at the Ministry of Labor. They get the support of the people at the Ministry of Labor because this case, you know, that's the reason why one of my friends, you know, I was having a conversation with some of our correspondents, our international correspondents, and they were telling me some of these things don't happen in wretched Ghana. For God's sake, you don't play with the labor of the people. You don't do it. But you get all these half good for nothing people at the Ministry of Labor, belly driven individuals, people that are not even seeing anything good for themselves. So at the end of the day, if even people send to them 1,000, 2,000, they've been dragged to accept it and do things against the interests of the people they serve. And this is in this case. This is in this case. And there are a lot of options that the people will take. Play that thing and then we'll go to the next audio. So now you listen. You're listening to the man is admitting that police officers were there. Why did you take or call police officers? Why? If it's not a sign, you want to intimidate or witch hunt the people because you know why? Because I know what I'm doing to you is not the right thing. So I bring police to intimidate you to accept what I want you to accept. This is the case. Why will you bring police officers when you are doing something legitimate? And you know that your redundancy is a legitimate redundancy. You've done what the law calls for. Why will you bring police officers? But because you knew that what they were doing is not the right thing, so they brought in police officers. And this is the reason why at times the respect for police officers in our country has been dashed on the ground, because they can be used for anything. You don't take on, they just call to Central, somebody power one, they just put in there, they say go sit down there. They don't intimidate them. So they intimidate the people and do what they think they can do against the people. But listen to this audio. You listen to Ruth and you listen to the people. The very minister Ruth Bayoga admitted that what the people did was they were not in the right. They needed to do first come, last out. But I don't know how did she somersault to now say that what the people did was the right thing, when would the interests of the Liberian people be well taken? When you have Diakona MDR. And the worst thing about it, for you got Raw Marshland. Raw, who is part of the board. Raw knows of what they are doing. Raw is in Liberia. He doesn't have a work permit. He comes to Liberia. He works here for 3 months. He goes back to his country. He's not paying taxes to our government. Nothing in the car. And the people at the beach club, they know of it. And this company, I will tell you, they are not operating on the original, the legal document. You know why? There are certain lapses they've got. And I will let you people know. Yes. And I have the exchange of emails here. You can say you be doing redundancy. In the very month you say you're doing redundancy, a month following that you are asking to do and you want to hire. So it's not a witch hunt. Let me read you an email from the managing director, who's Albert Kanzandi, who's is the one in this entire thing. How will you be doing a redundancy in February, March, and then in April you are sending a communication saying that you want to hire? Isn't that a witch hunt? Now, here is a communication. They did a redundancy February, March. Here is an email from Mwandi B. Albert Kanzandi. He sent this email to Raw. Raw, who is not a Liberian, he's a Norwegian. What he's doing in our country, this cannot be done in his country. Violating the laws of our country. He feels that he's above the law. And I'm going to say this. I will produce this man's passport tomorrow on this show. I will produce Raw passport. I will tell you when he came in this country. And if Raw, I will tell you whether I will give you all the detailed information about his traveling document tomorrow on this show. And if Raw is against the laws of our country, we'll make him to be held liable. He's not above the law. I'm promising you tomorrow, I will give you Raw full detail on his passport, and I'll be reading for his passport, give you a passport number, and give you all the necessary information about his traveling document here tomorrow. Now, on April 11, 2023, at the hour of 8:41 p.m., they did redundancy. According to them, they did a redundancy in February, March, right? So it means that they don't need anybody. They don't need to hire anybody again because they don't have money, according to them. But in the same year, in April, the people are here saying that it is necessary to hire. Here's an email from the managing director, Albert Kanzandi. He said, "Dear Raw, hope all is well. Do you think it will be a strategic idea to hire or just play a weekly by weekly stampede 3 credit officers?" But I thought you said you want to dismiss or you want to do redundancy of big credit officers and everything. Because you don't need them. There's no money. Because of economic reasons. But how can again you just do redundancy, then you want to hire? But listen to what transpired when the folks went at the Ministry of Labor to tell you how the Ministry of Labor is writing from the Minister upward down. You see, the Minister of Labor, I don't respect him because he's one of the corrupt persons. And now Ruth of all persons has joined the fray to be the most worst of all person there as well. They don't want to even go, I don't know how many years old. If you listen to the stories, some of the recordings, some of the workers then sent to me about Ruth, some of the things they've said to me about Ruth, I least expect for Ruth of all person to be into such. Let me play you this recording. I want you fellow Liberians to listen and listen well. You will listen to Ruth. Ruth is the only female in this recording. You will listen to Ruth Bioga. You will listen to the lawyer of the people. And you will get to understand they themselves said it in this recording that this redundancy in which the people are doing, it is not right. It should be first come, last out. How do you, my point here is this, folks. If the people want the redundancy to hold, good. The redundancy is legal. My thing is, how do Diaconia MDR expect or how they think that the Liberians that they're redundant, when they get an assurance pay, where do they think they will get money from to be paying the loans the way in which they've transferred the loan to another means and increase the rate of the payment interest and everything into that? For God's sake, man. Job business hard. Some of the people you're putting down, they will not get job. There's so much money given to some of them, they will want to try to put their hand into something. It's not even enough. So if they say they want to be taking, like for example, you go get somebody for that servant's pay and everything 2,000, and then that person is supposed to pay every month 400. Are you kidding me? You just go say, oh, okay, you know what? Just take that same money by you give, but they say, okay, you know what? I'll use this means, not do the thing, so we're getting 3 months, and then I pay the money back. So if you don't pay, you sign a document, you go to court, and they put you in jail. Because this man brags that he knows almost everybody because his sister is Charlie, and he got a connection with Charlie Broskin. That's the reason why the lawyer, Councilor Horatio Gould, representing the workers, has compromised everything. Let's play this audio so you can hear it. So better carry it from me. That Ruth Bayoga talking so, the minister and the minister of labor. She's the only female in this conversation. So any female you hear that Ruth. This is the lawyer of the people at the time. That the lawyer talking Horatio Gould. Y'all listen to him. Okay, now you're listening to the lawyer. This is the lawyer who has been representing the workers. You hear you that the lawyer says saying you, admitting and saying it to the faces of Ruth and other people. Mommy gotta be looking on the camera thing. You start looking on your phone too much. I told you. All right. That roof talking, so I want you to listen. That roof by you guys talking. The minister at the Ministry of Labor, y'all listen to her. Y'all listen, fellow Liberians. That is the lawyer of the people. This is Orosho Gu from ANC, the lawyer. This, you see? So when the case started or the thing started, they saw all the wrongdoings of the people. You cannot say you're doing redundancy. You do the redundancy and you hire people and put them in the same position. And I have record where Ruth told me, say, Ruth Bayoga. I challenge her. I'm just looking and I'm just waiting and I know when I will do what I want to do. I have record where Ruth told me that, oh, the people did not rent us because of economic reason. Oh, they say the position the people are in, they ain't get no part to play. That's the reason why they do the redundancy. She lied. Let me play it. Go ahead. Ain't you listening to Ruth? Ain't you listening? She said once you redundant a position, the meaning the position does not exist. You're listening to her. That a woman that has somersaulted and come back to say what the people have done, it is the right thing. Play it. That roof talking, yo. I hope you get everything done. Coming home. Now you see, she's saying it. Oh, I want you to listen. You, it is a right to hire. It is a right to redundant. But you're listening. Play it. Stop it right there. You see it? The manner in which that Ruth talking, the manner in which the redundancy was done in the redundancy law, play it. Let the Liberian people hear what Ruth said. Carry it from small. Let me go to the lines. Too many things. Now you listen to or saw the meeting. The redundancy law says first in, last out. So when you play this recording to the end, she will say the way in which they're doing it is not correct. That she needed to join the meeting so that they can do. But how come now this thing has come to a point where the minister now is saying that what the people, all the documents are presented, they are all the red documents, and the people should be redundant. Nobody's saying that they cannot be redundant. But if you are redundant them and saying that they should pay the loan that it took with a very high rate, 3% this time instead of 1.25%, it becomes a problem. Is the minister thinking about these things as it relates to Liberians? Or because this guy, he says, there are rumors that this guy is always seen in the minister's office and meetings that the minister said they can have private meeting? So is it because of that? That's the reason why the minister is playing, close eyes to what is the real issues? Let's go to the lines. Tomorrow we'll continue this thing. The rights of those Liberians, it is to be respected. And for once, we will do what is right. 0770907. I'm going to take 5 calls because the news is up next. 0770 907 907 0770 907 907 0880 907 907 0880 907 907 are the numbers to join us tonight on the show. The thing is clear, man. The thing clear. Nothing to even waste time. But yesterday, the Ministry of Labor. Hello. I can continue with you. Move from your monitor. Hello. Good evening. Yes, let's hear you. Mm-hmm. It's located on Capital Bypass. Mm-hmm. Certainly, and the Ministry of Labor is disappointing Liberians. Oh, leave it tomorrow. I will cross check. I will tell you. I will show that man some sense. Hello. Good evening. Mm-hmm. Too bad. You're coming in bad, oh my brother. Okay, thank you. Hello. Good evening. Go ahead, my brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that witch hunt, including the minister himself saying it. This is the issue, my brother, because you forcibly redundant the people. Okay, they will accept it, but the people can't. They say you won't punish somebody for one crime 2 different times. You redundant the people, then you say you must pay again. The minister don't know. No, and that honor tag gives you that Roof said that good thing. She somersault. I know how she somersault to say. Yeah. Thank you very much. We are all Liberians. At least, man, for God's sake. When we make Liberians, our brothers and sisters, to know that these government ministries and agencies are there for us. This is not about something you got to bring one big whole house to say, oh, why, everything. They think that's simple thing. But they think there's some of the things we get in, we hearing, it just for our more to talk. But at the appropriate time, we talk. Hello? Yeah, go ahead, quick. Do it quick so we can take another person. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. You waste your time, you go to Ministry of Labor. And if you listen to some of the things some of the workers from other institutions told me about what they do at the Ministry of Labor, particularly Ruth Bioga, it is very discouraging. Very, very discouraging. See what you're doing to the Liberians. For God's sake, what do you expect them to get money from? How do you expect them to pay certain amount of money? Where? How will they pay? The people, you there, instead of you made the thing very easy. These people are forcibly redundant, these people, and then you yourself, you said it, they're not doing the right thing and everything. Then they're telling the people, say they might go pay the loan again. Where will they take the money from to pay the loan? Or just tell the people, say, okay, you know what, we give you your sovereign pay, because they see sovereign pay, you will go get it, and they see money they will tell you to get back for the loan. And some of them money might not even reach. Some of them might even pay all that money, still they would need to pay more money. We don't do these things to Liberians. How do you expect Liberians to succeed in this country? When people realize, oh, Liberian people not serious, or Liberian people don't want to do this and everything. But we ourselves, our own problem. Look at this case. Ruth Bioga is doing this thing to Liberians and don't care, and she feels okay of doing these kinds of things and everything. From tomorrow now, the other recordings then will play of Ruth Bioga admittance that the people did not do something good. In fact, at first she lied. And another time she admitted she's having private meeting with this guy. Our people in government should be careful. You don't do that thing to people. They are the very people, the people that you're doing these things to, that are the ones that tomorrow you people will be going to say, oh, you'll vote for us. You think that Raw doesn't have a voting right here. But the Liberians that you people are doing these things so are the ones that tomorrow you will go to and say, oh, you know what? We want to be this person. We want to be this person. We need you to vote us. How do you have the face to go stand in front of the people and say these things to them? Tomorrow we'll be back here on the show, inshallah, with the blessing of my parents. And we'll be back here to continue the discussion and advocacy for our brothers and sisters that their corner MDR is infringing on their rights, want to put them in a problem and say they should pay a loan, which of course they won't be in job. And we'll be back here tomorrow, inshallah.